Bonjour et bienvenue à ce 6e épisode des Stratégistes. Aujourd'hui, nous recevons James Peagram, Account Manager chez HubSpot. Nous allons discuter en détail des caractéristiques et des avantages à utiliser HubSpot pour aider la croissance de l'entreprise et comment ça peut impacter le retour sur investissement. Veuillez noter que cette entrevue se déroulera en anglais et pour ne pas manquer nos futures entrevues, n'oubliez pas de vous abonner.
My name is James Peagram. I've been at HubSpot for a little over 3 years. My title is a channel partner manager here at HubSpot, and I work with our solutions partners like Guarana for sales strategy, sales coaching, talking about our platform, and been overall really happy with HubSpot and working with our partners. So that's a little bit about my background from a sales and kind of marketing standpoint.
And can you maybe tell us a little bit more about what you do at HubSpot?
Yeah, so my day-to-day consists of working with our partners. So HubSpot is a all-in-one CRM and marketing, sales, customer service platform. So I work with our partners, and the idea for our partner ecosystem and working with agencies like Guarana is to scale their service offerings on our platform. So HubSpot, we can do a lot of different things, and we have fantastic partners in our ecosystem to be able to help execute services for their clients and provide more value, and ultimately help those clients and customers, companies grow and scale as time goes on. So my job is focused on really sales and sales strategy as well as marketing strategy in that regard.
Nice. But first, maybe we can begin with that.
Yeah.
What is HubSpot?
Great question. So HubSpot is a CRM platform for growing and scaling companies. So we've been around since 2005. HubSpot is headquartered in Cambridge, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. And our platform is really designed for any type of business that's looking to grow and scale their operations. So across marketing, how do we generate leads? How do we build a brand around a business? How do we capture that information across the buyer's journey and enable sales rep and customer service reps to all work in one place? And our platform is really designed to be able to do that and execute all of those operations in one platform. So that's a little bit about HubSpot. I'm imagining as we talk a little bit more, we'll get into even a little bit more nitty gritty there. But yeah, it's a little bit about HubSpot.
Nice. And how does HubSpot support business growth?
Yeah, so it's a lot of different ways that HubSpot can support growth. It really depends on the nature of where a business is at when they come to HubSpot, or before we're really engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we think about growth, we think about it in a way that we want to align all of our teams together. So as a business grows and they add on new customers and add on new employees, they have a decision to make, right? Their decision is to say, do we want to add a bunch of different softwares across the marketing funnel or the sales team and CRMs or customer service? Do they want to continue to add on to those softwares, or would they want to potentially do that all in one place? And what we've seen is that if we do all of these operations and execute marketing and sales strategy in HubSpot, it allows us to better understand what's working and what's not working from a customer acquisition standpoint. For any business should really care about how are we actually acquiring customers and are they happy customers? That is what our platform is designed to do. So when I talk to a bunch of different businesses that are using 5 or 10 or 15 different softwares across their teams, it's really inefficient and it's really difficult to scale. It's difficult to grow. It's difficult to understand how are we actually acquiring customers? Where's our revenue coming from? So those conversations and those questions are really difficult, obviously, to answer, but to strategize around. And so when we don't know essentially what's working, what's not, it's hard to make business decisions around revenue and hiring and all of that stuff. So when I think about how HubSpot helps customers grow, it's kind of in that way. It's really saying we could be a lot more efficient in one platform, but it really looks different for every company as well, and where they're at and kind of their growth stage. So
And
yeah.
the more softwares you have, I would say the more you have more potential to like not using some softwares and you pay for nothing because you're not using it, or you just forget about it.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's really we want when I think there's a something around getting the most out of our company and our employees. You know, if we know that our marketing team is really strapped and they have a lot to do, there's a lot of things and deliverables, and they're using a bunch of different softwares, but not to its fullest potential. That's an issue. You know, we're losing out on really the productivity for that employee, and that employee isn't really kind of delivering revenue generating opportunities. And so you're 100% right, Toby, in saying that when we have a bunch of different softwares in place, it's really difficult to understand how are those softwares talking to one another, and really are we getting the most out of our employees from a marketing standpoint in that. And that's really just marketing specific. That could be for sales, that could be for customer service as well. So it goes across that funnel.
Yes, exactly. And can you just like maybe give us an overview of those three services? So we have a marketing, sales, and services.
Yeah. So HubSpot is built around really four different hubs. So HubSpot software has our marketing hub, which is everything in terms of lead generation, lead conversion, email marketing, marketing automation. How do we actually drive visitors and random strangers that are looking for a solution to their problem, right? We want to get that website activity, drive that to the website, and then say, how can we be as helpful and relevant as possible through blogs, through case studies, through white papers. All of that entire endeavor right there could be 5 or 10 different softwares, right? You could use Google Ads, you could use MailChimp for email marketing. If you're doing landing pages, that could be on Unbounce, and then Gravity Forms for forms. Like all of those things are, you know, like I said, 5, 10 different softwares. So that's what Marketing Hub and just the marketing side of HubSpot, what that's designed to do is generate more website traffic and convert leads and nurture those leads accordingly. Now, the other hubs for HubSpot is our sales hub. So once the marketing team has done all of that great work, we hand it over to the sales team in HubSpot CRM, so that sales rep has all of the activity and interactions we've ever had with a potential lead, right? What website pages they're viewing, what ads they've clicked, what forms they've submitted, what marketing emails they've opened. So what we tend to see is that if we have our marketing and sales team aligned in one system, that sales rep can reach out with the right message at the right time. And that end customer and that end prospect, maybe they're not a customer yet, it's a welcoming experience, right? If I'm getting an email from a salesperson and it's relevant to what I care about, I'm more inclined to talk to them and I guess really evaluate their product or their service or whatever type of business we're talking about. So that's really the sales functionality around emailing, calling, logging deals, forecasting, all of those revenue focused kind of operations. We want to be able to see how does marketing and sales tie in. That's our second hub, is the marketing and sales hub. The third hub is our service side. So as we know, Toby, we're living in a very customer-centric world today, right? It's all about how do we provide a really good customer experience. And our customers are the most important part of our business, I would say, right? Even at HubSpot, we think about our customers in ways that how do we provide a really good customer experience so they want to use more of our products, so they can see more value. And so all of that comes from how do we make our customers promoters of our brand? And how do we give them a great customer experience so they tell their friends, their colleagues, their peers about the software or the product or the service that they're doing? You know, I don't think anyone really buys anything anymore in today's day and age before they talk to people, right? Like, I'm going to go and ask you, Toby, what software you're using for project management before I go and do project management myself, and so we want to enable that whole journey for our customers, the marketing, the sales, and the service. The last hub is actually our CMS hub. So being able to actually redesign a website on HubSpot. And so all of that is to align the marketing team, the IT team, the sales team, and the customer service team. So that's a little bit about, I'd say, our platform. And like I mentioned, and I keep going back to, is when we think about like a return on investment from a HubSpot standpoint, if we have everything and all of our teams in one place and they're all dialed in, working together as one engine to provide a good customer experience, that's going to dynamically change the business's growth, right? So yeah, it's a little bit about, I guess, all the different hubs of HubSpot.
Nice. I want to focus maybe just on one of like the tools is the automation tool. I think is one of the great feature of HubSpot. Do you have some client experience or a story about how automation help business owner or sales department?
Yeah. So I'll break it down in a few different ways. I think when I think about automation in HubSpot, there's a few different ways to think about it. Right. One is marketing automation. And a lot of people think about marketing automation. They know that they maybe should do marketing automation, but what is that really? It could be something as simple as someone submits a form on your website. We automatically want to send them a thank you email and drive them to book a meeting with a sales rep. Right. That can be automated. Anybody that fills out a form, we'll send them an email. And here in that email is the sales rep's calendar that person can go and book a time with. It's pretty seamless. It's pretty convenient, right? That is really like marketing automation and maybe email drip campaigns. We send this first email out. If someone opens it, if they click it, we want to send them another piece of content. And because we understand the nature of what they're interested in, right? They're looking at, a page on a case study that you guys have done. You can reach out with messaging around that, all via automation. So that's really like marketing focused. Here at HubSpot, we use HubSpot, right? So our marketing team is driving a ton of activity for me as a sales rep. And what's really cool is the sales automation that HubSpot has. Let's say we automatically want to rotate a lead to a specific sales rep. And that process, that's automation. But when I go and send an email, I can schedule an email to go out. In 2 days, we'll schedule another one to go out. And if they respond, our CRM automatically creates an opportunity or a deal. That right there is a true operational automation. It's what I call business automation. It's not really all about marketing and sales automation anymore. It's really how do we keep our operations as seamless as possible. If we automatically are creating a deal, that helps the sales rep, right? And if I close that deal, we're going to attribute that back to marketing. And so all of that back end systems are all operating and automating different tactics. And this looks different for every business, right? But automation is really there to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks and we're getting as much out of our people's time, our employees' time as possible. So is that helpful? Does that make sense, I guess, from a marketing and sales automation standpoint?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense, and I think it's a good point that you said that you can have like meeting links. So I think it's very relatable that a lot of people try to get a meeting with someone, and you send an email, hey, are you available next Friday PM or maybe Wednesday? And the other people answer, oh, I'm sorry, I cannot can you that day? Oh no, I can. And just that little tool that you have save a lot of time. So
yeah,
automation is not about only like big automation, very complicated, very in deep automation. It can be little simple things that just help you day to day.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. Love that example of the meetings link. Every sales rep ever has gone back and forth with a prospect. Are you free on Wednesday at 11 to 1 or Thursday at this time? We want to be able to say, here's my calendar, Toby, book a time that works best for you. And I love that little piece, and that'll save hours per week, potentially. So yeah.
And now HubSpot is very good to with like small enterprise or too much bigger. Would you say that it's scalable no matter like the business growth?
Yeah, I think that there's a few things to think about when I really think about who's a good fit for HubSpot. We here at HubSpot, we care about small businesses, mid-market companies, startups. Our founder Dharmesh Shah once said, he said, we don't really want, or we don't need to service the Fortune 500. We want to service and be the software platform for the Fortune 5 million. We care about everybody else that's looking to grow and scale, and we want to make it as easy as possible for that business to do that. So when I think about who's a good fit for HubSpot, it's really, do you have aspirational goals, and do you want to grow the company? Does growth mean hiring people? Does it mean, building new products? Does it mean, going into a whole new niche or industry or whatever that may be? If people have aspirational goals, they're going to need technology to enable that. We're in 2021. If you don't have a CRM platform or marketing or customer service, your competitors do, and you're going to lose out. And so I love, and HubSpot loves working with folks in businesses that really want to grow and scale and see the opportunity to be able to do things better. Our mission statement is to help millions of organizations grow better. And so when the grow better part is to say, you could grow with different softwares and different ways to piece together that buyer's journey, but that doesn't really provide a good customer experience for that end customer. And so there's a better way to grow, and that is by a customer centric way. And all HubSpot is a software to enable a business to do that. So that's something that I think, hopefully that answers kind of what your thoughts or your question was around growth and scale. But that's how we think about it here.
Yeah, totally. And we have experience with clients that begin with like HubSpot maybe like 3 or 4 years ago was small, maybe like 3 employees, and the business have more is successful. And now they are maybe at 20 or 30 employees. And what I really like is that they are using the same software, so HubSpot, and they're using the same pipeline, because that pipeline, no matter if they have like 5 customer per month or 1,000, doesn't matter, because it's so scalable. It's so, with the automation, with the pipeline, the transaction, it make it really easy to grow as a company.
Yeah, and just a quick note on that, Toby, but we have, and it kind of goes back to like, we have a bunch of different hubs, right? All of those 4 different hubs, but it doesn't always happen where a customer says, "Hey, James, we're ready for all 4 of them or all 3 of them." What we see is that maybe a business is moving off their CRM and they want to start with our sales hub. And as they're using HubSpot, their marketing team kind of, opens the door and knocks and says, "Hey, what are you guys using? Is there any potential to, use HubSpot?" And then they'll grow and scale into the marketing side. And so it's a natural progression. As a business needs more, you don't have to look in different ways. You can look in the platform you're using, and that's what we think about growing better as well. So yeah.
And when you invest in that, I think from a ROI perspective, when you're using the same software, the software is scalable, that you help with like a day-to-day job task that automation can take over. I think like the ROI is, yes, you have more sales, but I think you can say that you save money from other perspective.
Yes, exactly. Like you could save, when a lot of folks ask me like, "James, what's the ROI of HubSpot?" And it looks different for every business. If you have a sales rep that spends 5 hours a week creating quotes, that can be done in a couple clicks of HubSpot. So now your return on investment is that you're actually getting 20 more hours a month in productivity from your sales rep. How do you quantify that? And so there are, like you said, Tony, tons of ways to actually see an ROI. And I always really do think about HubSpot as a customer acquisition platform, but then you sometimes forget all those little nitty gritty automation things that help save time and effort and all of that. So there are a bunch of ways to think about ROI. That is for sure.
And your sales rep is happier because it doesn't do like that mindless task, and the customer is happier too because the answer is almost instant. So I think
Exactly.
it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. It's a quick ROI too. Everything anybody purchases from a software standpoint is how quick can I see an ROI, and it's really important to think about what does that ROI mean, and then from there it can be as quick as the same day, and that's really what makes HubSpot fun. So.
And think of that. I think now because like in 2021. Your website is have like a customer have expectation for your website. It have to have look at that way of those functionalities, and one of these thing is he wants an answer now. I just think like to the conversion, the chat. You can put a chat from HubSpot on your website. That's like the basic stuff that people expect from your website. So I think HubSpot can help a lot with that.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible in my time here in the last 3 years, how much the product of HubSpot has evolved, but also the evolution of buyers, right? In today's day and age, we don't want to talk to a sales rep, right? Where the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to friends, talk to colleagues, or just immediately go to Google. And this just happened the other day where I was, looking for something online locally here, and I went to someone's website, and it was not a true representation, I think, of what a business should be online today. It was something that there was no way for me to reach out and convert and find my answer to my problems. And that's really where we want, to enable a customer or company to be able to do that, is to say, when I go online, I want to be able to find the answers to the questions. I want to be able to connect with that business quickly through live chat. If I'm a customer, I want to have support as quickly as possible. I want to be able to go online and search, let's say I'm a customer of HubSpot, how to add users to HubSpot. Well, go and Google that. First thing you get is a knowledge-based article of that step by step. And so that not only helps the customers feel better about the product, but it also helps the end business, right? That end customer, like if HubSpot doesn't have to have a support rep talk to our customers and they can self-service, we call that self-servicing, then that saves that customer support rep time and it makes the customer happier. So that whole idea of like being there relevant in real time is something that's super important for any business to have. And I completely agree with you on the website side. We want to have live chat. We want to have forms to submit. We want to have case studies so I can see what that business has done for other people just like me. And when I'm ready to reach out and say, hi, Mr. Company, I'm ready to have your, a conversation with a sales rep. I've already done 80 to 90% of the buying. I've made my decision. Now it's just about getting it in my hands. And that's what we think truly is the way in which people buy today. And it's the way in which they'll buy in the future. Continuing. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice.
And finally, if you were a marketing manager in a company, how would you sell HubSpot to the management team?
It's a good question. That's a really good question. I would say, it really depends on what that marketing manager is doing today. If they're using a bunch of different softwares and they have spreadsheets over here and MailChimp over here and, all of those different piecemeal softwares, it's when I would go, when I'm working with marketing managers and talking to, and they have to go and talk to their executive team, I think I always go back to like they've made an investment. That team, that business has made an investment in that marketing manager. They pay them a certain amount of money and they're not getting maybe the best return possible because that marketing manager is probably spending countless hours a week doing things that we don't really even know that are working. And so why I love working with marketing folks is because they need to be able to prove out their value. If these campaigns that I'm running from a marketing standpoint are resulting in actual customer acquisition and I can't prove that, then, and HubSpot can help me, I'm going to say, for that person to go to their executive team and say, I could really do much, I could do different things. I can work on different projects. I can show the business what's working and what's not. And so when I really think about what HubSpot does, and our team internally says this, is that like, we want to build careers. We want to help that marketing manager get promoted. We want them to be able to do more things. And so I think what's super powerful is that the platform is designed to tell us what is truly driving engagement and customers. And if a marketing manager can show that data to their executive team and quantify growth, that's really all they need. They need to be able to have that data there. So I would say, the question itself is how would we do that? We'd work together. We'd, set up a trial. We would build reports and say, hey, here you go. Let's go take this to the team and do a presentation and hopefully, grow and scale this way. So, yeah.
Yeah, very good. And I remember when I first, saw HubSpot, and I think one of the big wow factor that is you can track everything. The first time you show to a client that, look, this customer, I visit this page and did that action, and I've made this form, and you download that ebook, and you can follow everything. They are, what, you can do that? It's almost scary. You feel like spied by everyone, but that's the internet today.
I know. You think right when you show someone that, you're like, oh, they automatically think our business is doing this with me right now, and it's all that we want to do is be able to provide a better customer experience. And if we have that intelligence for a specific customer, ultimately we feel like that's information that's going to help, that customer make a better, I guess, decision and be happier in the long run. So yeah, I'm with you. But it's an interesting endeavor, and HubSpot's not going anywhere. So we look forward to continuing growing.
Les Stratégistes, un podcast de Guarana Marketing. Pour plus d'épisodes, suivez-nous sur YouTube, Spotify ou toute bonne plateforme de podcast. À bientôt!